It's time to grave dig into the Revival Trance precon, a deck all about bringing your best creatures back from the brink for maximum value. We'll cover what the deck does right out of the box. Then I'll talk about my top 10 hyper budget additions to make it even stronger. And finally, I'll talk about which cards are getting tossed in the ditch. Let's monkey around. The Revival Trance precon is a white, black, and red Mardu deck focused on getting creatures into your graveyard and then reanimating them for powerful effects. Its commander is Terra, Herald of Hope. Terra is a 3/3 human wizard warrior for red, white, black that is a self-completing puzzle. Her first ability, Trance, triggers at the beginning of combat on your turn, milling you 2 cards and lifting Terra into the skies by giving her flying. This is golden, filling your graveyard with reanimation targets while enabling Terra's second ability. Whenever Terra deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 generic mana. When you do, you return target creature card with power 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This could be smaller utility creatures like the treasure-making Pitiless Plunderer or the self-milling Stitcher Supplier. Then again, they could be massive threats like the counter-wielding Siegfried Famed Swordsman or the card-drawing and life-draining Shadow Mysterious Assassin. She fills the graveyard, reanimates when dealing combat damage, and has that flying keyword to give herself evasion. You can see what I mean when I say a self-completing puzzle. But naturally, the 99 also supports the graveyard game plan with Reanimate and Rise of the Dark Realms. Tefka Dancing Mad is a new spell in a similar vein, gaining you free cards to play from graveyards while punishing your opponent's life totals. The new spells Snort and the Warring Triad help to fill your graveyard, and thick boys like Archfiend of Depravity and Umaro Raging Yeti stand at the ready to close out games. Ultimately, this deck offers a straightforward reanimation experience. I think it's perfect for newer players with this commander that does it all, but reanimation is fun for everyone. So let's start unsurfacing the 10 budget additions right after you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it. Alright, enough of that. It's time to take Revival Trance from good to graveyard grinding greatness with this 10 card budget upgrade package totaling out to just $3.14. First up, a utility piece in Cathar Commando. For 1 and a white, you get a 3/1 with Flash. But the real reason it's here is its ability to sacrifice itself for 1 generic mana to destroy a target artifact or enchantment. This is instant speed, on-demand interaction for pesky permanents. And it's a creature, so you can reanimate it later on if needed. An option like this is just what this deck was asking for, and it's only 9 cents. Next, we're adding Erishin Foremost. This 2/2 human warrior for 1 and 2 white can exploit how the text on the commander is written. You see, whenever Erishin Foremost enters or attacks, another target warrior gains double strike until the end of the turn. Since Terra is a human wizard warrior, she can be targeted. And since her second ability triggers whenever she deals combat damage to a player, the newly acquired double strike can double the creatures you can reanimate. Admittedly, this is a very commander-centric choice, but it's aggressive, synergizes perfectly with Terra, and it's just 28 cents. To consistently fill our graveyard with targets and even bring them back, we're adding Body Launderer. This 3/3 Ogre Rogue for 2 and 2 black will connive whenever another non-token creature you control dies. Connive is a mechanic that will have you draw and then discard a card. If you discard a non-land card, the conniving creature gains a +1/+1 counter. This helps us cycle through our deck and dump creatures. But the massive bonus on top is its death trigger. Whenever Body Launderer dies, you may return another target non-rogue creature card with equal or lesser power from your graveyard to the battlefield. With Terra, this is a repeatable reanimation effect, offering card selection, defense, and resilience, all for just 60 cents. The flying double striker Shadrix's Silverquill does a little bit of everything. This legendary Elder Dragon for 3, a white and a black is a 2/5 with a beginning of combat trigger. On your turn, you may choose 2 of the 3 modes, with each of those modes targeting a different player. Create a 2/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying, draw a card and lose 1 life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature they control. Realistically, you're choosing 1 mode for yourself and 1 for an opponent. He's a flexible powerhouse that can help you catch back up or close the door for good, and he's only 64 cents. Next up is Lena, Selfless Champion. This 3/3 human knight for 4 and 2 white creates a 1/1 white soldier token when she enters the battlefield for each non-token creature you control. This will escalate your board presence, giving you plenty of chump blockers or make you too wide to handle. But her key ability for this deck is her protection. Lena can freely sacrifice herself to give creatures you control with less power indestructible until the end of the turn. It won't protect everything, but due to her 3 power, Terra can bring her back post-haste. She's a fantastic piece of protection and token generation for 29 cents. To improve our graveyard filling and card selection, we're adding Faithless Looting. For just a red, this sorcery lets you draw and then discard 2 cards. It's incredibly efficient to dig for answers and to put those high-impact creatures directly into your graveyard for reanimation. Later, you can pay 2 and a red to flash it back, letting you cast it again from your graveyard. It's pure gold for 23 cents. Similarly, Thrilling Discovery will also have you cycling through cards. For a red and a white, this sorcery gains you 2 life. Then, it lets you discard 2 cards. If you do, your reward is the drawing of 3 cards. The life gain is a nice bonus in a reanimator deck, but the primary value again is putting those reanimation targets into the graveyard efficiently. It's a key piece of card selection and graveyard setup for 11 cents. For a powerful and efficient reanimation spell, we're adding Victimize. For 2 into black, this sorcery lets you sacrifice a creature to return 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a widely played reanimation spell, but I love it in this deck because Terra will frequently be able to reanimate whatever creature you decided to sacrifice on the same turn. It's a slam dunk and only 34 cents. Now for some powerful and flexible board control that loves your multicolored mana. Mythos of Snapdax. For 2 and 2 white, this sorcery says, each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control, then sacrifices the rest. Why it's so good here is because if a black and a red was spent to cast this spell, you get to choose the permanents for each player instead. This is a tremendous way to reset the board in your favor, especially since you're going to dictate what each opponent keeps, leaving them with their weakest permanents while protecting your best threats. It's an absolute game changer for only 34 cents. Finally, for in-hand and graveyard card advantage, we have Hostile Negotiations. For 3 and a black, this instant has a wall of text. Basically, you create 2 face-down piles of 3 cards that were exiled from the top of your library. You look at them and choose 1 to turn face up. Then, an opponent has to choose to put the cards in the face-up pile or the face-down pile in your hand, and whatever pile they didn't choose goes to your graveyard. You lose 3 life after all is said and done, but the table gets to experience this fun minigame while you fuel your graveyard and hand for 22 cents. These 10 cards offer new synergistic elements, card selection, and interaction for less than $5. But as we all know, for every card that comes in, 1 must go out. It's time to call the Gravedigger, because 10 cards are about to get buried. First up is Phoenix Down. This artifact ends up costing 1 and 2 white for 1 of those 2 effects. They're too narrow for my liking, and the fact that this gets exiled when used leaves it out of my 99. Next is Wayfarer's Bauble. Our deck has more efficient ramping options that similarly let us fix our mana. Let's see the way it fares in the grave. Coin of Fate is out. 2 mana to surveil 1 is a bad deal. Then the 4 mana sacrifice ability, reanimating the lesser of the 2 creatures you select, while taking the other one out of the graveyard graveyard is also a pretty bad deal, even if you end up with the Monarch. Mog Moogle Warrior is getting cut, even though I hate to see it go. This 1/2 legendary Moogle Warrior for 1 a red and a white has lifelink and the ability to dance. It does enable the strategy by letting you discard and then draw a card. I just don't like it here because every player gets that chance to see more cards, and there aren't enough Moogles in the deck to make it worth that cost. Setzer Wandering Gambler is next. This legendary human rogue pilot seems like an intentionally random part of the original deck with the blackjack vehicle and the coin flipping. I'm gonna let him wander out of this 99. Strago and Realm are out. The upside of Sketch and Lore, the 2 and a red tap ability, is very high, but the low is very low. There is a place and there is certainly a player base for these completely random effects, so I'll let them hang out over there. The Falcon Airship Restored is getting cut. This 2 and a black legendary vehicle can now legally be a commander. Hooray. Now, I won't be the first one to build that deck, but I hope someone out there is. Truth is, I think this card is slow and janky, and I kinda wish it was left unrestored. General Leo Christoph is next on the chopping block. He's a worse Sun Titan in a deck that is already packing Sun Titan. A super awesome looking Sun Titan, I have to add. Tragic Arrogance is out. We're in Mardu colors, so I wanted Mythos of Snapdax instead. Easy as that. Finally, Ruin Grinder is out. I like the idea of getting this in the graveyard by mountain cycling. I don't like the idea of it dying and refilling everybody's hands. This deck simply isn't built to punish a wheel like that. Here are the 10 additions once again, and while you peruse, please take a moment right now to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like the video if you liked the video, and click right over there to check out what the Counter Blitz precon is all about and the budget additions that were slotted in.